All right, everyone, welcome back to another Game Vault video. As always, I'm Captain Beefy with the Game Vault. We're going to talk about Ubisoft once again today, as it has been reported that Rainbow Six Vice President Cameron Lee is leaving Ubisoft. So let's cue the music and we'll talk about this. So a new report details that Cameron Lee, Ubisoft's vice president of Rainbow Six, has left the company, and there he is right there. One of the few remaining men in the company from what I've seen. Tom Henderson at Insider Gaming reported that an email sent to staff revealed, for the time being, the role of VP and executive producer for Rainbow Six brand will not be replaced. It's unclear why Lee decided to leave Ubisoft. Well, if you've been following any of these stories this year, Ubisoft's in a really bad place right now. They just delayed their upcoming AC Shadows game, the highly divisive entry in the Assassin's Creed trilogy, or Assassin's Creed, not trilogy, but franchise, that features a black man as the main character in a story set in feudal Japan. And that's just the whole beginning of the controversy. There's way too much to go over here. There's plenty of videos out there, myself included. I've made quite a few. Go check them out and see what's going on with this, because it's absolute insanity. But they've delayed that game from releasing it was November 15th, I believe, to February 14th of next year. And there are rumors that it's going to go even beyond that, and that maybe the character Yasuke, the black samurai, might end up changing his status in the game, whether it's getting less screen time or being deleted altogether and replaced with an actual Japanese character like the game originally intended to have. But that's to make a long story short. So they've had some other problems this year too. Skull and Bones released. Skull and Bones, it's reported, has had maybe up to an $850 million spent on it. That's a ridiculous amount of money. I don't know how much I believe that. I mean, I guess it's possible, considering it's been in development for 10 years and it's actually, been totally restarted several times. They've worked on the game, got it to a certain point, and then scrapped it and started over again. So possibly that was in there. Some of the money came from the Singapore government. So who knows what kind of things were tied to that. I know the game had to be released because of that. And that's one of the reasons it finally came out. I think otherwise they may have just scrapped that project altogether and just closed up shop on it. But when you get money from a government, there's always something involved in that. A lot of times there's kickbacks. So maybe some of that money got kicked back to certain government officials, bloating the cost of the project. Who knows? That's just me, and my mistrust of the government talking there. I've got no proof of that or anything like that. Just me, kind of thinking about things out there. Not only that, but then you had the Star Wars Outlaws, which came out, and that really undersold. They're saying 1 million copies in a month. Black Myth Wukong sold 10 million in a few days. Yeah, Ubisoft's in a bad place. And maybe, maybe our guy here, Lee, saw the writing on the wall and decided to leave early before they started chopping heads off. Lee joined Ubisoft as the vice president and executive producer of Rainbow Six back in April 22. In a press release at the time, the company stated that Lee would be responsible for creating the long-term brand strategy for Rainbow Six franchise and aligning and collaborating with all internal partners. Lee previously was vice president of production at Activision, another woke-ass company, the general manager of new IP at Bungie, another one there, and a lead producer at both BioWare and EA dating back to October 2008. All these companies are trash anymore, man. God, it's so terrible. Anyway, Lee shared back then, what drew me to Ubisoft was the priority placed on creativity on a scale not seen elsewhere in the industry, and the investment in our top franchises like Rainbow Six to really unleash our imaginations for our players. Well, fair enough, Ubisoft's no stranger to spending a lot of money on a video game. I get it. They'll go out there and they'll spend the money on certain IPs. They got Avatar, the James Cameron movie, the Star Wars and all that. These things don't come cheap. Anyway, he also said, I'm inspired by the people across all our Ubisoft studios and their incredible passion for creativity and quality gameplay, and I'm excited to see what we can do together as we look to new player experiences, platforms, and entertainment as a whole, he added. I don't know what he was looking at, because, the creativity it's really not there anymore with Ubisoft. Ubisoft's become very dry. Every game has a very similar feel to it. These open world games, they're just, you know, they're bloated. They're full of unnecessary side quests and collectibles and things of that nature. And it's just designed to keep you in the game longer and longer and longer. And then they want to throw in microtransactions into single player games. You know, buy this skin or buy this, you know, buy this falcon or this eagle skin for Assassin's Creed or this new outfit or whatever. They seem to be very bent on this kind of stuff. And I think that's toxic to the industry, especially in a single player game. Now, if you're offering somebody a multiplayer online game where people see each other and interact with each other's characters, and you want to sell skins in that, and you sell the game not at full price, you know, I'm talking these are going into $70 base games, $130 full price games, you know, and they're still getting skins and stuff sold in them. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's greed. It's greed on a scale that it just turns me off at this point. I don't mind people making money. That's what everybody goes into business for. But you got to live with yourself at the end of the day. And it's absolutely ridiculous, you know. So, yeah, creativity, I don't see it. Quality gameplay, they're not being very innovative anymore. I saw a lot of footage from the Star Wars thing, and it looked bleak. The AI looked terrible. You know, you're able to just duck down and hide from enemy stormtroopers almost instantaneously. The AI looked worse than it did years ago in older Assassin's Creed games. Your character is bonking stormtroopers on the head, like slapping them with her hand and knocking them out and stuff. Absolutely ridiculous. It's terrible looking gameplay. Rainbow Six, however, appeared to be one, if not the only bright spot in Ubisoft's portfolio, at least financially. The company reported during its first quarter sales report in July that Rainbow Six Siege had a 34% increase in sessions days and an 18% increase in session days per player compared to the previous year. The company also noted that it saw growth in monetization as well. In fact, it noted this quarter saw Year 9, Season 1 become the highest grossing season in Siege's history, as well as the full release of the marketplace that continued to see a sustained level of transactions. While Rainbow Six Siege appears to be in a good spot, the company did delay its Rainbow Six mobile game. The company announced Rainbow Six Mobile and The Division Resurgence are no longer expected in fiscal year 2025, as the teams are taking the necessary time to ensure that these experiences deliver on expectations with optimized KPIs in the context of a demanding yet very large market. So yeah, I guess they're going for the mobile version of the game, which, you know, makes sense. Mobile games are huge right now. I'm going to tell you, I'm not a big fan of them, you know, but it is what it is. It's gaming. It's on a different scale than computer, console gaming and all that. It reaches a different market, on a wider market than computer and console gaming. Anybody can get a phone for $100 and play one of these games, so I get it. It's a smart move to get into mobile gaming. It could finance other parts of your business if you did it right, you know, so good luck with that, Ubisoft, because you're not doing so well in the PC and console market right now. Anyway, Lee's exit comes after a disastrous announcement that the company was significantly lowering its yearly net bookings to around $1.95 billion and around break-even non-IFRS operating income and free cash flow. It also lowered its net bookings for the second quarter by 30%, from $500 million to between $350 to $370 million. That's a significant difference, 30%. Ubisoft laid most of the blame on a softer than expected launch for Star Wars Outlaws. A rumor claims that the game only sold 1 million units, while analysts were expecting, at minimum, 5 million units. Selling 20% of what you expected and what you told your investors you're going to sell, that's not good, man. These guys are in trouble. They really are. I spoke a while back that investors need to speak up, especially in cases like this, and put the pressure on these companies. Only by doing that are they going to get change, because they're going to force these companies to oust the people at the top that are making these horrible decisions and leading these companies into, you know, the depths of hell, basically. They're destroying them. Anyway, CEO Yves Guillemot, the top contender to see the guillotine, would also put the blame on XDefiant, seemingly confirming rumors that the game is struggling during a trading update call. Guillemot stated, "We also had behind expectations for XDefiant, which we will give you a bit more detail at the end of October." Given Ubisoft's poor performance, investment firm AJ Investments revealed to Reuters that it had gathered support from 10% of the French video game publisher's shareholders, and that it wants management of Ubisoft to allow the sale of the company to third parties or private equity firms at a fair price. The firm had previously called for CEO Yves Guillemot to be replaced. The firm declared in an open letter, "We suggest that Ubisoft allow shareholders to vote for a new CEO and allow sale of the business to PE Group or let the Guillemot-led consortium to buy out minorities for fair price." In fact, the firm called for a total reevaluation of current management. Reevaluate the current management team and governance structure. It is crucial to have a leadership team that is capable of driving the company forward and delivering shareholder value. Consider hiring new CEO who would run Ubisoft more efficiently, who has a proven record of running companies such as Ubisoft. Yeah, they're calling for his head, and I don't blame him. If I had money invested in this company, I would not want that man leading it. He is way too entrenched in the culture war, and he's too much of a zealot and activist at heart. It seems like he lost sight of what Ubisoft used to be about, which was making great games. You know, Ubisoft used to be one of the better publishers in the industry years ago. Assassin's Creed was amazing back in the day. You know, people loved it. It was a fantastic game. Far Cry used to be great. Now all these games just kind of feel like the same thing with a different skin on it. Far Cry, Assassin's Creed, Star Wars. I guarantee you the new Assassin's Creed is going to feel like Valhalla or Origins or Odyssey, just with a different skin on it. You know, these big, bloated, open-world games that really have no soul to them, you know. And I liked Valhalla for what it was, okay? Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to lie to you. I enjoyed that game because I enjoyed the subject matter, the Vikings coming to, you know, Great Britain and taking over and all that kind of stuff. To me, that was a lot of fun. It had its fair share of problems. It had some DEI BS in there, a lot of gayness that didn't belong there. You know, and it did have a lot of busy work that just kind of bloated the game and made it a little frustrating to play through. You know, some of the quests were, you know, but I enjoyed. The major mechanic I enjoyed was taking over region after region, and you know, fighting off the big bad guys and working my way up to the top of, you know, the last guy I had to kill. But one of the biggest problems was you weren't really an assassin in that game. You were just like a straight-out killer. You just led your armies. You raided monasteries and towns and stuff like that. And it was fun, but it was far different than Assassin's Creed games should be, I think. And it would have been a better game had it not had that moniker on it and it just been a fun Viking game, you know. I think that could have made it better. Anyway, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Ubisoft's really having a bad year. They probably can't wait for 2024 to end, because 2025, that's probably not going to be their year either. But anyway, leave a comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and ring that bell for notifications. I will see you guys next time. Until then, peace.